as we bring to you interviews and biting commentary. And now, your hosts, Kente, J.I., Kitty, and Olaf. Hello, and welcome to an all-new episode of The Spotlight, episode number 219. I am one of your hosts, Kente, all the way live from Los Angeles, California. I am so happy to be with you here on this Thursday night. We have yet again another wonderful show. And joining me tonight is my wonderful, beautiful, and talented co-host, the one and only Kitty. How you doing, Kitty? Oh, you're on mute.
I am doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing really good. I'm happy. It's a beautiful day, and I'm glad to be here chopping it up with you guys.
Woot.
All right. And also joining us, we have the one and only Arpo. How you doing, Arpo?
And Kitty is like almost exactly halfway between us.
That's right. That's right. And also too, Arpo, I gave you a little shout out today. I was showing a couple of friends of a trailer of a movie you did, or a movie you wrote.
Oh God, not the man from Schenectady.
Yeah, it was that.
Okay, well that's cool.
Hilarious. So we have a great show for you today. A little bit later, we have our round 5 of our comic book madness tournament. We're going to unveil who the final 4 is. But let's get right to our guest. He's an actor and also a martial artist. It's the one and only Robert-Parham. How you doing, Robert?
I'm doing great. All
right, now, did I pronounce your last name properly?
The proper pronouncement is Parham.
Parham. Okay, Parham.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Because, one thing, I hate having my name mispronounced. So definitely, I'm glad that we got that straight out. So, and now you're here too, right? In Los Angeles as well, right?
Actually, I'm in the Bay Area.
Oh, you're in the Bay Area. Okay. All right.
Being Jewish, I just have to quickly ask, Parham, now that's no relation to Purim, right?
No.
Okay, just me.
Now, we have a tradition on this show. Every time we have a guest and it's their first time on the show, we love to get their origin story out there. So where are you from originally?
I was born in Staten Island, New York, and raised in Hillside, New Jersey. Shout out to my Hillside peeps.
All right, Shaolin, huh?
Hey.
Yeah, okay, all right. So you was there with the Woo.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So what was it like growing up in Staten Island?
God, that was so long ago. I have faint memories of my childhood there. I just remember playing inside all the time. It wasn't until I moved to New Jersey. Our family moved to New Jersey that I guess a lot of my memories really come into play.
Now, New Jersey often gets talked about, not always in the most positive light. What was your experience growing up in Jersey?
Brick City. I loved it. I wouldn't change it for the world. A lot of friends of whom I still keep in contact with, after, 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
I go back. I was home last year, and it was just great. I just environment, the atmosphere, and where I grew up is actually, I think it's a 15-minute drive to New York City. So, we're in New York City every weekend. How can you beat that growing up as a kid, young teen?
Did you make your way over to New York often? Yeah,
we were in New York every weekend, every other weekend. Then, after I got a car, it was like every weekend. It's great times. I got so many stories to tell you, but I'm not going to say any because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, and I don't want my mom and dad to hear them because they might, ground me or something like that.
I think you might be safe. Hopefully.
My dad.
You know what though? I'm almost 40 years old, and there's some stories that my folks will never know about. So I can definitely feel you on that. So, and I know I can't get in no trouble. But yeah, that is true though. Some stuff, it's just gonna have to be memories in my head. So
Exactly.
I'm definitely feeling you on that. So at what point did you realize that entertainment is something you wanted to get into?
When I was still living in Staten Island, I remember, I guess I was in the first grade, second grade. I was in a school play, Santa Claus school play, and I was Santa Claus, and I cried I don't even remember saying a line. I remember crying the whole time because I was so scared to be in front of an audience. When I moved to New Jersey, and I was in the school plays, and I got into something about self-image and being in front of an audience, and it was petrifying. It wasn't until I was a senior in high school that I realized, hey, I got to do this so I can overcome my fear of being in public speaking, et cetera, and so forth. I was told, and I did some research, the two things that people are most afraid of is falling backward and public speaking. That's before death. That's before, getting into a mangled car wreck or something like that. So as I progressed in my life, was in the Air Force, I had some, got into the martial arts. I got some opportunities with a friend of mine, John Graham, who worked on some movie sets. So he got me the little parts, the extras, and then when I moved here to California, I was like, hey, after seeing some other people's work, I'm not putting down anybody's work, but after seeing other people's work, I was like, I can do this and I can do it better. So there you go.
Me personally, I would watch movies and stuff and I'd remix them in my own head. Like, like what could I do differently to make it more pop, make it pop? And I kind of liked, that was one thing that was good about watching movies that weren't necessarily masterpieces, and I'm being really nice, is that, you could say, okay, it's not just enough to say the movie sucked. It's like, if it was in my capable hands, what could I do with it? How can I make it pop? So I definitely did that. So, one thing I can say is I know from growing up, there's a lot of brothers my age that had knots in their head to this day because they watch Bruce Lee and they tried them nunchucks, and and they, I'm one of them too. I tried to be Bruce too. So what was something that got you into martial arts though? And did you have anybody you looked to, or maybe an older person who was in it or something?
I was in martial art. My dad studied Tai Chi and Judo and Jiu-Jitsu and things like that. And when I was in let me get this right, 5th grade, I was living in New Jersey. Got beat up by a girl.
Oh wow!
Yeah, her name is Mylene Dejoie. She's a beautiful person. And after my dad finished laughing at me, he kept me in so I didn't go out the whole summer. I stayed in the whole summer, and he's teaching me how to fall, how to lock people, how to kick, how to punch, and this, that, and the other. And so that's when my martial arts training began. So I was about, how old are you when you're in the 6th grade? I don't know, 10, 11?
Something like that. Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Something like that. So somewhere around there. And when I joined the Air Force, I ran into a gentleman who later became my prominent martial arts instructor, who I have my rank under. His name is Dr. Alonzo Jones. And man, he was sharp. He was sharp, and I think he's about 3 or 4 years older than I am. And when I met him, I guess I was 18 when I met him. He's like, hey, you should come down to my school and, see my students. Like, when you think of martial arts teachers, you think of some old guy. You think of somebody like Richard right over there, somebody with experience.
He looks like a
guy,
Shaolin monk or something.
And I didn't have too high hopes, but when I saw him, I actually saw him in combat one time. I was like, oh man, I fell to my knees like it was a movie. He's like, please teach me. And he taught me well, taught me pretty good, I think.
Now I want to rewind the tape a little bit because you kind of breezed over it. about the ass whooping that sent you into martial arts. We're not gonna let you just get away with that. And there's a message to that too. Is kids out there, some ass whippings lead to greatness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she in a way did you a favor, but I'm like, man, no, dude, that you said you didn't come outside. I bet you didn't come outside after that.
Man, hit me with my lunchbox. I remember she bit me. I got my ass whooped. Yeah, I did.
Oh wow!
You bringing back bad memories, man. I'm gonna have to go take some Prozac or something here in a second.
But I gotta give you props though. I gotta give you props that you man enough to say, it happened. But look at me now.
Hey,
I think you would win the rematch.
Yeah. You get money on me.
If it's any consolation, I still get my ass whooped all the time. So hey,
I love it, man. I love it. So, one of the great things, going back, I loved martial arts movies growing up. I don't know, they used to have Kung Fu theater and obviously everybody wanted to be like Bruce. Sorry about that. Everybody wanted to be like Bruce, was there a specific film in that genre that really, that you connected with?
Of course. There's two. So the very first martial arts movie we saw, my dad took us to the drive-in, and we saw this movie called Karadu, the Hong Kong Cat.
Okay.
Right? I was like, wow, look at this guy. He's fighting 30 people. He's jumping all up on the boat. He's jumping, he's amazing. And then we saw Enter the Dragon. Right? Now, granted, Bruce Lee did a lot. But the person who kind of took it another level, because I never seen a brother before doing martial arts, was Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly.
So he's, the ghettos of the world, the same all over the world, they stink. I was sold. Not to mention his other lines in the movie. You come right out of a comic book and bullshit.
Yeah, you out of a comic book.
Yeah. So, fortunately for me, during the last about 5 years of his life, we got pretty tight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, let me show you this. He mentored me and told me a lot of ins and outs of the business, et cetera, and so forth. See, that's Jim Kelly. He autographed my.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now I've had this book since I was a kid, and I saved it. For whatever reason, it survived all of the moves that we made. It survived Hurricane Katrina. It survived all of this, and it's here on my wall now. So I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful.
All right, now we have a caller or area code 916.
Hello.
Yes, can you guys hear the caller?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Did you have a question? What's your name? Where are you calling from first?
Yes, I'm Eddie Freeman. I live in Sacramento, El Grove.
All right.
And
cool.
I just tuned in. Want to say hi to my friend Robert-Parham.
Hey,
and what he does. And I'm a big fan of his and his work. And really impressed with his background.
Thank you, Addie. Thank you.
How's it going there, brother?
I believe you have to keep grounded and know where you came from, so you know where you're going. Never lose your roots. Right. Never lose where you came from. Never lose sight of that.
Could you expand a little more on how on your background and staying connected? Like you said, who you are in terms of your roots and your aspiration as an actor in the future.
Sure. Good question. Staying to my roots is this. I have a small circle of really, really good friends. Real small circle. I have a lot of associates, et cetera. There's a lot of people I connect with, but I have a real small circle of friends. And I never forget them. Never forget them. As I said before, I've got friends. 3 of my best friends I grew up with since I was in the 4th grade. So we still connect with each other, still contact each other. Matter of fact, they flew out from New Jersey during the premiere of my latest movie. So they flew from New Jersey out here to Sacramento to watch me on the big screen. They didn't have to do that, you know. So I keep in contact.
Beautiful. Wow.
Say again?
Yeah, I'm really, yeah, this is beautiful, you know, very, very impressed. I mean, how they, you know, they respond and, you know, keeping the friendship, you know, that's, you know, tight friendship.
You got to have real friendship. You have to have true friendship. You have to have people around you who don't want to use you, who know who you were. In my case, you knew who you were when you were a kid, because you can't pull anything over their eyes, and they keep you honest. They keep you in check. You know, they know that you're the same guy that was picking his nose in Miss Brunner's class. They know that, you know, and they'll remind you too. So that's real important.
You know, I was really impressed. I was doing some ushering for the film, for your premiere, and you know, when you came in, you know, I was really impressed how you shook everybody's hand. You know, you spoke with everybody. You know, you're just very humble, and you know, everybody. You know, you changed the entire, you know, atmosphere and tone. And I was like, wow, you know, really, really impressed with you know, how, you know, kind you are with everybody around. So
well, thank you, Eddie. You know, I was taught that in this life, you know, I mean, how long are we really here? You never really know. But while you're here, you have to be a blessing to everybody you meet. You know, if you're not going to be helpful to somebody, if you're not going to be a blessing, what are you here for? You're just wasting oxygen. Go somewhere.
True.
Well said.
Well, thank you for your time. I know you have other callers, but thank you and God bless you. And I look forward to meet with you again. And you know, I really wish you all the best with you and your family and your career. I know you are a movie star. You know, you are, and things will happen at a large scale. And I'm really grateful to be your friend.
Daddy,
God bless you.
Take care, man. Thank you. That's
right,
great.
Cool. Now, yeah, that was real cool. Now, Arpo, you started to say something?
But I entirely forgot what it was going to be. So, I was just going to say you were talking about the autograph of Jim Kelly and how it survived all the moves and Hurricane Katrina and all that. And I was thinking to myself, that's just how tough that guy was.
I know, right? He was an amazing individual. He was kind of he had a small circle of people. You know, it was kind of I don't want to say a loner, but he had a small circle. But he's amazing, the stories he told me. He would call me at 3 o'clock in the morning because he wanted to talk. 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, dude, do you know what time it is? And he act like he never even heard it. He just go on and talk about the martial arts history and the cars he had and, you know, the movies he made and, you know, the bad.
Yeah, you see, at our house, the phone rings at 3 o'clock in the morning. The first thing we say is, somebody better be dead.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
That is pretty cool, though. That is very cool.
Yeah, it was cool. And, you know, I've met a lot of people in the business who have given me some great advice. Good friends with Timok. Remember him from The Last Dragon? He's giving me some good advice. My distant cousin is Gloria Hendry.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. She flew out to the premiere too, so she was there, and she's awesome, man. She's awesome. And so before we knew that we were related, you know, when you're a kid and you see the movies and Gloria Hendry, and then, you know, when we actually got into conversation, we found out, you know, we got the same relatives, you know, our relatives grew up in the same place, same names. I was like, oh man, I didn't know whether to.
Really cool.
Yeah. We have another caller area code 310. What is your name and where you come from?
Yeah, my name is Ali D'Souza.
Oh, hey.
That's my director. How you doing?
All right. How you doing, Mr. Director?
Hey, Robert-Parham, how you doing, my friend?
How you doing, my friend? See, and when I talk about my small circle, he's one of the people in my small circle that keep me grounded. A matter of fact, when I moved to out here to the Bay Area, he was my first official acting coach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. So he tapped into some resource, something I had to help bring things out. When we were on set of Jackson Bowl, sorry, Ali, I'm taking all your time here. He made me work for it. He didn't pull any punches. Like, Robert, that's flat. What are you doing? Dig deep. Give me something. So he's a great director, man.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
So it's nice when to call in and support my compadre there. He's one of my best friends in the world, and I'm glad to give him some PR out there. Because more than a champion martial arts, I want to let you know that Robert's a champion of people. Some of the great success of getting the Jackson Bowl film together was Robert's relationship with humanity, and it really shows up in the way our set worked, the way the team got together. And pull-off was very difficult today, getting a feature film done over an extended period of time while people were doing their survival jobs and things. So I just want you to know that my buddy Robert-Parham is one of the best human beings I know on the planet. I want to say that to him live on the air. And best with this interview, mate.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, thank you. Take care, guys.
All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, we're going to talk a lot about Jackson Bowl and acting and other things as well. But I want to kind of ask another question, one more thing about martial arts. Now, what are the disciplines that you've studied, and how has that helped you as far as acting is concerned? Just by mastering one thing and then getting to the acting.
I have my rank in a system called Kempo Kambatai. So Kambatai is a martial arts system that's its predecessor was called Gazert al-Malik, which came from how do you say this? What is now Egypt? Okay, let's just say what is now Egypt.
Kemet.
There you go. The way the system was handed down, kind of like from warrior to warrior to warrior to warrior, father to son, grandfather to grandson, etc. and so forth. Came to the States during what they call the Zamina Masfian, which is when a lot of the kings and queens fled northern Africa and landed in America. In the South, in Mississippi, it's funny because I learned about the Free State of Jones, that movie that's coming out right now, and our system came to America through that. It settled in that community. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if they address it at all. So that's what the system that I'm ringing comes from. And how's it helped me? Well, it's given me a lot of confidence to know that, let's say people like Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris, great martial artist. I think Chuck won the world championship 2 or 3 times.
Something like that. Yeah.
Not that great of a I enjoy his work. One of his best movies, I think, is Code of Silence. I love that movie. Mm-hmm. So I look at that and it's like, well, if I was Chuck Norris in that movie, how would I be different? Just like you said, you dissect it and you rearrange it, but what would I do a little different? So being in the martial arts, there's a lot of martial artists out there that think that just because they're in the martial arts, it transforms into the screen because everybody wants to be Bruce Lee, but people forget Bruce Lee's been acting since he was a kid, so he's got a lot of, and Bruce Lee he acts more with his eyes than with anything else,
Right.
So as a martial artist, I can look at people like Bruce Lee, I can look at Chuck Norris, I can look at Jim Kelly, I can look at Ty Mock, I can look at Ron Van Cleef, another guy who I totally respect and love, and bring a mixture of what they did to the screen, and that's what helps me in acting. I even in my non-martial arts roles, in roles that I'm a cop. Usually I wind up playing a detective. Wow, 90% of the time I'm a detective. So, and that's what I bring to the screen. That's what helps me through. That's how martial arts helps me. You know, I guess if I didn't have my martial arts background, I may be struggling to get my point across as an actor.
Now, if you have a child and you want to get them in martial arts, what would you say the ideal age would be to get them started?
7 or 8.
7?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
7 or 8.
Why specifically 7?
It's a matter of attention. I think children under 7 or 8, in my experience when I had a martial arts school, their attention spans are short. Because what they want to do is they want to play. You know, okay, we'll work real hard for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is up. Now they want to play. You know, the attention span is boom. But as they get a little older and they've had some experience in school, they have to sit for 8 hours. You know, 6 hours, what have you. An hour of class or 45 minutes of class isn't going to be that challenging for them, you know, to do what they're supposed to do.
Now, you know, when you were in the martial arts tournaments and such, you're performing, right? It's the performance.
It's a performance.
Right, and as well as being, competitive, you know, in competition. So what is it like to be in front of a crowd or audience performing, you know, or competing in martial arts? What is that like? Just do you block them out? Do you feed off of them, or you know, what is it?
No,
like?
I try to block them out, but I do feed off them. You know, my fighting name was Too Sweet. You know, so I would hear the crowd chanting my name, you know, and that kind of, you know, I got to do this not only for me, but for the crowd. And, you know, these people paid their money to come see and this, that, and the other. And, yeah, you kind of feed off the crowd, but you don't want to get caught up in the crowd because the crowd will stroke your ego in such a way that you do things that you really don't want to do, but you want to do to please the crowd. And then you'll look at the ceiling.
You know, one of the coolest things I've ever seen was, I used to play basketball like every morning, right? Mm-hmm. And there was this brother who was a boxer, right? And there was another guy who was like a judo dude, right? And, you know, they used to always talk about, you know, about what they did. And one day when we're playing in the gym, they actually got into it.
Really?
So everybody now wants to see boxing versus judo, right? Uh-huh. So everybody's like gathered around like, oh man, it's going to be good, right? So, because, you know, fights break out all the time. There's usually just two guys who don't know anything, right? So the boxer dude was, the judo guy was just tossing boxer dude around, right? Just, you know, and he's like, you know, a champion and all of this stuff. And the guy was like a journeyman boxer, right? Mm. And he's just tossing the dude around. Just, he would come throw him down, right? And then I sat there and I watched the guy who boxed. He got him. He got him like kind of in close quarters and hit him with a shot that cleaned that dude's clock. It was like he knocked him out with one shot. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. He put him down, and the guy was done. It was like, wow.
Yeah,
you know, it was one of those things where you felt it too. You were like, ooh. I think he broke the guy's nose, right?
You got to learn to respect everybody's art. You know, you just got to learn to respect everybody's art. Everybody brings a little something somewhere with something. Excuse me, guys. I have to get my plug because my phone is dying here. I don't underestimate anyone. You know, anybody can get hit with like that. I remember one of the boxing matches I remember to this day, and I love boxing, was John Tate versus Mike Weaver for the WBA Heavyweight Championship. Now, John Tate had won the bronze medal in the 1976 Olympics, I believe, and he was a WBA champion. And I'm saying this to reference what you just said. John Tate whooped Mike Weaver for 14 rounds, 2 minutes, and 40-something seconds. And got hit one time and was asleep before he hit the floor. So you have to respect what people bring into a fight. And whether you're a judo guy, a boxer, a jiu-jitsu guy, you just got to respect it. You got to be prepared mentally and physically for whatever challenge that they bring to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, look, I don't take anybody for granted. You know, I give everybody that, you know, because you never know what they know, what they got underneath underneath their belt. So that's for sure. So let's talk about Jackson Bolt. You know, it was so cool. We just had the director call in and give us a rundown of what the film is about and the character you play.
So I want to talk about Jackson Bolt. I also want to talk about another movie, Yasuki, which is in the development stages right now. So Jackson Bolt, excuse me, guys, let me hook up.
Uh-oh. I think we lost him. So while we'll kick him and then just come back in. We are here talking with actor, world kickboxing champion Robert-Parham. And, you know, we're having a little technical difficulties. He'll be hopping back in. And there we go. We got it.
Okay. So Jackson Bolt, I play a cop who's having problems with his marriage. I'm kind of a renegade cop. I don't do things by the rules, et cetera, and so forth. So I'm a little emotional and I'm a little pissed off. And my partner is sleeping with my wife. So we have to work together, and I know this. You know, I want to kill him.
Right.
My character also was a retired kickboxer, and retired when his promoter wanted to make more money off of him. So he didn't give his promoter a chance to make money. So his promoter sets a series of events, and I don't want to give the whole movie away, but he sets a series of events where my partner gets killed and everybody points their finger to me. And on the flip side, there's another storyline about a pimp who turns into a hitman whose ultimate job is to kidnap my wife, you know, and who's also hired by the promoter. So we had a great time shooting that movie. You know, Marcus Taylor is in the movie from Straight Outta Compton. You know, we have a great fight scene. China McCoy, who actually got his start as Lawrence Fishburne's stunt double in The Matrix, and he's going to just do some other great things. And of course, Fred Williamson is in the movie, and Fred is the riot.
Hammer.
Uncle Fred, love him to death. You know, so we had a good.
I had an opportunity to interview him at a convention. I think it was last year, the San Fernando Valley Comic-Con. So that was really cool. Yeah, talk about Jim Kelly and Fred the Hammer.
I've met them all. I met Fred. So I'm watching Three the Hard Way. And when you're a kid, these guys, I want to be like these guys. And say, I've met and known and hung out with Jim Kelly, Fred Williamson, and I met Jim some years ago at Murad Muhammad.
The Holy Trinity.
How cool is that?
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, that's real awesome. So what was it like working with Fred?
Fred is a riot. Fred puts on his hammer thing. So when we got to the set, first of all, we were late to the set because I was coming back from LA. I had to get picked up. We picked up Fred, and Fred wanted to stop and get a charger for his phone. Like, man, we're a little late. He's like, So we got the charger for the phone. He's like, brother, you need a phone cover. He brought me a phone cover. We get on set. Before we get out of the car, he's like, watch this. He gets out of the car. All right, let's go. He's barking orders, right? I'm here to work. Let's go. What are we waiting for? Stay around. Everybody's like, oh, shit. Fred. He's not, I was dying on him, so he was just being the hammer, And after, I guess he saw a couple of people who kind of pushed back at him. He had more respect for them than the people who didn't push back at him, But I was in tears the whole time, man, because
that is funny. That's funny. He was kind of like that during the interview, which was pretty fun. Yeah. So, okay. So let's break it down. Though, what were some of the challenges with the production of this film?
The challenges with the production of this film, I think the greatest challenges were locations. You know, we're an indie film company. We don't have a whole, we don't have millions and millions of dollars, et cetera, and so forth. So locking down locations probably was the greatest challenge. You know, we had a scene with our hospitals. We had to find a hospital, something close to a hospital. So we found this training at one of our producers, find a training facility where they train nurses. So we used that. We needed a boxing ring. We had to there was a wrestling place where they do wrestling show, wrestling training. So, we were fortunate. Tim Bartlett, thank you, sir. Fortunate enough to use his place for that. I think locations were the biggest challenge for that film. And actually, we had on our last day of shooting, we were supposed to shoot in a lawyer's office, and they canceled on us the day of the shoot.
Oh, Jesus.
So we had the night before the shoot. So we had 6 hours, and my co-producer, Jim Meyer, as brilliant as he is, got us another location that we were at the next morning, right around the corner from where we were originally supposed to shoot. So, yeah, locations, always a challenge.
Now, look, I'm a guy. I love, you got martial arts, you got action. Sign me up, and I'm sure that Arpo's down too. Now, is this a film that the ladies are like? Well, can Kitty's man take her to see this film? Would she be into it?
I don't know why you're asking that question. I'm into action and martial arts, and you know that.
I know. I'm messing with you.
Women will be into it because we have some strong women roles in the film.
All right.
It's of course the character who plays the actress who plays my wife. Her name is Addie Alpha. She flew all the way from England to be in the movie. She's like the African Oscar award winner for female actress. Strong. She has a strong role, and you can see the magic, I guess you can say, if you will, in a relationship between me as her husband and her as my wife. How we have our troubles. We really love each other, but we can't quite get it together. Because
I don't know though, but I'm giving her the side eye though. Cheat your partner.
So that, and we've got Olympic gold medal winner. She played the WNBA. Let me. I see her face. I'm bad with names today, man. You caught me on bad name day.
Bad name, yeah. Hey, that's every day for me almost. So Kitty, so you will definitely enjoy this film. Strong women, art, action.
It definitely sounds like it's going to be a really good movie, and I look forward to seeing it when it comes out. And you can say that stink eye. Women cheat. Yes, I'm not saying that's a good thing or it's the right thing or that they should, but there's always a reason. I look forward to seeing what that reason might be.
Action movie. She'll probably like it better than the both of us put together, man.
Ruthie Bolton. Is it Ruthie?
Ruthie Bolton. That's right.
Bolton. Okay.
Olympic gold medalist.
Our director. He.
So you have to understand how women think. If your man is not giving them the attention that they want, women, and I don't want to say this in any negative light. I don't want to use the word vindictive, but they will hit home.
We are vindictive. Okay, I'm a woman. I will say it. We are vindictive.
So in this movie, my wife is sleeping with my partner.
Wow. Because
I'm working too much, et cetera, and so forth. But it hits home. It's like, wake up and see what's going on here. Wake up, come home to me. Your partner's got time for me. You don't. Let's
y'all are doing the same job, and he's got time for me, and you don't. There's an issue here.
Am I right? See.
Right. You know what? Yeah, I would have to holler at that partner though. How am I pulling doubles and you doing singles with my wife? Something ain't right about that. We just had a caller call in, call back, please. Yeah. So, but I'm really interested though to see this dynamic, and so it's a lot of action. So, I got to ask you, how much of the stunt work did you do?
I did it all. No stunt doubles for me. In any movie that I've done, I've never had a stunt double. I don't ever plan to, unless I'm, like Fred. Fred had to fight in our movie. He gets to swing a couple times and no double for him. He does his own stunts. His son. It's like, Dad, come on, man, Dad. You need a double. And Fred does his own shit. He will not do a stunt. He won't do it.
Now you're not going to pull a Jackie Chan tradition of breaking a bone somewhere in your body every single movie you do, I hope.
That was going to be my question. Have you ever gotten a really bad injury from doing your own stunt?
I haven't gotten a really bad injury, but I was doing a movie in film. I was a bad guy. And there's this thing, this drill that this in Jeet Kune Do called the Huba drill. And so this other person who was called himself a Jeet Kune Do expert, him and I were doing the drill before the take so we can get it right. And he wasn't doing it right. So
and you got hurt.
Yeah, so it broke my hand. It broke a bone in my hand.
Oof.
But we finished the scene, and then I went to the hospital and had my hand in a cast for 8 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it was. That was my that was the biggest injury I've had. But that's.
Yeah, I'd have been like cut, and then I'd have ran to the back to the trailer and cried.
Yeah, well, Kinte's got a low tolerance for pain too, so
it wouldn't look good if the star is crying on set. Man, I had my stuntman doing everything. I'd be like, "Oh, it's time to run, stuntman."
Kinte would have his stuntman do the dialogue for.
That's a good idea. I would definitely do that because my acting sucks. So, But all right. So Jackson Bolt. So we've established there's a lot of action. And what was it like? Work? What is that like on set? And crafting out these fight scenes. And just really getting into it. Is it exhilarating? Is it tiresome? I mean, what is that like? Just what is a day like?
It can.
And what is the aftermath of a day of rolling around?
A nice warm bath and about 10 hours of sleep. Because I don't know about anybody else, but me, I try to bring realism. So depending on the camera angle, I don't pull the punch. I'll throw it hard, like I'm in a real fight. I'll bring the emotional content like I'm in a real struggle. And that's tiring. Mm-hmm. So there was the day we shot at the hospital, I had to fight like 20 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we were on set all day doing all the acting, and then I had to fight everybody. So you had to do that last. Yeah,
okay.
That last. So, I felt like I slept for a week after that. It was crazy.
Wow. So, and I imagine it has to be a lot of trust too, because it's like a dance.
It is.
It's almost like a dance. So, and you got to trust your partner.
It is.
And because or you might end up with the broken hand. So,
we have one scene that I do with a good friend of mine, great actor, great martial artist. His name is Will Yick. So we really couldn't, and we've worked together before. So we wanted to do something totally different than we ever did. So instead of throwing the usual punches and kicks and blocks, we said, let's just go for it. So it was totally spontaneous. It was not rehearsed. So if you see that fight scene, it's not rehearsed. We just did it.
Wow, man.
I was like, dude, you are strong as an ox. I was like, good Lord. But it was a great scene. It's a great scene.
Wow. So now, there's two things. You are an actor as well as a martial artist. And I imagine those are two crafts that you have to work at equally to continuously getting better and better. So what kind of training do you do as far as martial arts to this day? Because I know you have a long career, but do you still? I mean, what do you do to stay on top with that as well as your acting too?
For martial arts training, I basically stretch, throw about 500 kicks a day, little things like that, just to keep me in the, relevant.
500 kicks, he says little things.
Little things, right?
It is, used to do, thousands of them when I was fighting, but, those days are long behind me. So I just want to stay a little loose. So I don't want any, because, my body's a little older. I don't want to get any injuries, et cetera, and so forth. So just stuff to keep me moving so I can move. So when I want it, it's there, it's real important. As far as acting, I'll see the three greatest actors that I say are Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Denzel Washington. Mm-hmm. I watch everything that they have. Right. Try to incorporate some of what they do or how they portray themselves into every character that I bring. Especially Robert De Niro, because he's another guy who's on screen and he says a lot by not saying anything.
Yeah, face.
It's all in the face, it's all in the eyes. Like I said, Bruce Lee acts with his eyes. So I try to do that. I try to emulate it, and so far it's been pretty successful.
So when can we get our hands on? I think we lost Robert for a second. So while we're working on getting him back, we'll kick him and just come right back in. And you guys, we are talking with actor, world kickboxing champion, Robert-Parham, and we are talking about his newest film, Jackson Bolt. And as he's coming back in, you got to love live radio. You have a little technical difficulties here and there. So we're talking about this film as well as, and you guys stay tuned because we will be doing round 5 of the comic book Madness Bracket Challenge, and that'll be after Real Discoveries, ARPO. So while we are waiting,
by the way, I just want to say, for people who want to find out more about his films and are trying to find them on IMDb, he is listed under Robert D. Parham, not just Robert Parham. That's a different actor.
Yes. No, we can't hear you as of yet. You're still coming in.
Well, maybe you should drop that link for the people who for last minute voting before we get to that.
Actually, last minute voting is over because I closed it. Yes. We're gonna find out who won. But what we'll do is we will put our guest information in the chat so that if people want to check him out, and just after the show too, I'm gonna check out the X-Men movie. So I'm gonna go check that out. So we'll see if it's any good. I did like the last couple of X-Men movies. They were pretty good. So
debatable.
So. Yeah, man, he said he heard the movie sucks. Well, I'm gonna find out, and I'm, either I'm gonna have a good review, or I'm gonna have. It's the same
people that did Days of Future Past. So I have some pretty high hopes for it because that's probably been the best X-Men film in about 12, 13 years.
About that.
Yeah, I really like that. I like that. I like the First Class and Days of Future Past. So we're just for all those who are listening to our interview, we're just having a little technical issues with our guest, so we're just waiting to get him back, and we'll finish the interview. Also, too, Kitty, I know that you are on Twitch sometimes. Are you on Twitch these days?
On and off. I haven't done anything a lot recently, simply because work's picked up and I've picked up full-time hours. And my schedule is so wonky. Some days I open, some days I close, some days I'm a mid-shift. And trying to find the energy to work on a schedule, especially if I'm closing one day and then opening the next. There's no way I'm going to be able to stream on a day like that. So I'm going to wait for my summer schedule to kind of even out a little bit, and then hopefully I'll be able to do some more streaming. I've got quite a few new games lined up that I'm looking to demo and put out there and put out for people to see.
All right. Well, thank you for that update, and welcome back to the show, Robert.
What happened there? I was like, whoa.
I don't know, man. It's that demon, man. It's the devil. Nothing but the devil. But yeah, we were talking about your film, and when can we get our greedy little hands on seeing this?
We're in the state. We had a big premiere, and we're in the stages of re-editing the film, the second half of the film. We just had some feedback. It needs to be a little tighter. You know, a gentleman I respect a lot. Another one of my mentors is Art Camacho, and he's like, "Hey, man, you got to make it a little tighter." Harry Mock. Don Wilson too. You get to make it just a little tighter. So we're back in the editing room, and hopefully it'll be out in distribution November, December, January.
Okay, all right, that's what's up. Now, before we transition, because there was another film you wanted to talk about, something that's in production. Now, if anyone who's listened to this show may know that we had a guy named William Lee on the show. And he talked about a film called Badfellas, and you were definitely in that. So, what was it like working with William, who's a big martial arts guy as well? What was
William
that like?
is a riot. I had so much fun on the set. He, was working a camera, and it was hard for him or challenging for him not to laugh when we were shooting our scenes. We just had so much fun, man. It was great. It was so much fun. I would looking forward to working with him again sometime in the future.
Now, did you go to Ohio? Oh, okay, that's what's up. All right, yeah. So, is Badfellas out for we can see it?
You can buy the DVD. I think it's on Amazon.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, because I've seen his film 3 Knee Deep, which is in Redbox, or I know it was in Redbox. I don't know if it still is in there. Now, you were talking about another production that's upcoming. Tell us a little bit about that, or what you can.
Production of several films. One is called Snow Black, and one is called Yasuki. So Yasuki is the true story of an African samurai, and we have a lot of interest in it. My co-producer is Al Yisrael out of North Carolina. We've got Nick Cannon involved in. He's been calling us. Michael Jai White. We are working to get Idris Elba as the lead. And just spent the weekend with Dada 5000, and he's got interest in it. It's going to be an epic film, epic. So that's all I want to. I'm under a non-disclosure, so I can't really say too much about it. But it's going to be epic. That's all I can say.
Wow. Look, I'm looking forward to it, man. I definitely want to check that out. Now, we've come to the show, part of the show that we affectionately like to call Rapid Fire. And the way that Rapid Fire works is that me, then Kitty, then Marco will pepper you with questions. Now, they'll be coming fast. Now, I know you're fast. So we're going to be coming fast. You're going to have to block and kick and everything. But I think you're up for the task.
All right, let's see.
All right, so here we go. The first question I always like to start off with is a couple of years ago at Coachella, they had a hologram concert for the rapper Tupac. Yes. What dead artist or band would you like to see a hologram concert of?
Luther Vandross.
Oh, I love it. Kitty.
Well, I'm a huge cat person, in case you haven't noticed. So, favorite animal and why?
Tiger. Because they don't take any shit.
Damn right.
They just take shit, but they don't take shit.
All right. Guilty pleasure TV show. The one that you don't want your friends to know you watch.
All my children.
You know, I think that's like number one in prison or something like that.
Actually, I got to agree with that was always one of my guilty pleasures too. So.
Right. All right. Guilty pleasure junk food.
Chocolate, anything chocolate.
Okay, that's what's up, Kitty.
Dream vacation spot.
Hawaii.
All right. Our puzzle.
Into the martial arts thing and the acting. What do you think you might have ended up doing? Well, I mean, you know, what would your alternate dream be?
I probably would have been a lawyer or a CPA.
Okay. All right. Now it's a zombie apocalypse, and you have only two weapons you can have. One is a melee weapon, and the other one is a firearm. What firearm would you carry, and what melee weapon?
That's a good question, because if there was a zombie apocalypse, the first thing I would do is go to Costco, because nobody could get in without a card. You know, I don't think zombies carry Costco cards, so I don't think they'd be able to get in. But I would have some kind of submachine gun. And
Okay.
What's the other weapon?
Melee.
Melee weapon. Like
Like an axe or a
some
pipe
kind
or
of-
I would
something.
probably have what they call commas or sickles.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I like it.
Your go-to activity, like when you're just chilling in the house, you want something to do. What do you do?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, if it was your first time doing this rapid fire thing, what question would you ask? Because I'm out.
What question? Where do I see myself in 20 years?
Okay, where do you see yourself in 20 years?
20 years, hopefully happy, relaxed, enjoying the fruits of my labor, watching my work, sitting in one of the Hawaiian islands.
And maybe only having to do 250 kicks a day at that point?
Watching my kids being the best people that they could be.
Yeah.
All right.
Wahoo.
Okay, now final question. Final question, and this is a very important question.
Here it
I'm about
comes.
to ask you, all right? So now you're based in the Sacramento area?
I'm right in between Sacramento and San Francisco in a town called Fairfield.
Fairfield, okay. So this question is going to be tailored for Fairfield. Okay, you got to help a brother out. A young man is going on a date with a young lady in Fairfield, and he needs your advice. So you got to tell him the best date to take this young lady out on. So it's all up to you, man.
Fairfield? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I would say take her to Red Lobster and then take her on a wine tour.
The Red Lobster, okay. Get them biscuits, huh?
Yeah, wine.
Fresh seafood is
All right, and then
always
take-
best.
Always.
All right, and then take her back to the crib and watch some of your films, right? Yeah, there you go. The bootleg copy. It's not out yet, but man, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was awesome, man. We got to have you back on to, especially when the film is for general release. Maybe we can get you and your director too, or some of the cast people on it with you to chop it up about it. Yes. So how can people get you in social media and also websites, and where can they see some of your other films?
The easiest way to reach me is on Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. I'm on Facebook while I'm on my phone or wherever I'm doing. I'm on Facebook. So quickest way is Facebook, robert.parham. My films, I got some films that are out in distribution that I've been in, Hand to Hand, Fist to Fist. I was an extra in Under Siege. I was an extra in The Insider. There's Watership Warrior. So they're all in distribution. You can probably go on Amazon or eBay or wherever and pick those films up. William Lee's film, I was in. Thanks, Will. that's about it, man. Until Jackson Bolt comes out, Jackson Bolt, Yasuki Snow Black, and Buster Jones. We did the short for Buster Jones. Look at that on YouTube. It's inspired by Jim Kelly and
All
Shaq.
right.
So check that out.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's been a pleasure talking to you, man.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Guys, take care.
You as well. Stay safe
All
out
right.
there.
Bye-bye.
So at this point of the show, we are going to turn it over to my main man, Arpo, for some real discovery.
Oh, boy, did we make a real discovery this week. Hammer Films made a movie called Vampire Lovers. Okay. Now, this is not the movie that I'm reviewing. This is just the setup. Because the movie that I'm reviewing is actually the sequel to The Vampire Lovers.
Oh, dear Lord, no.
But The Vampire Lovers was their first horror movie to have nudity in it. It was their first horror movie to have lesbian in it. And apparently it did so well. They said, God, we gotta put the bite on some more lesbians. And so they came up, and this time I downloaded it, so I don't actually have the case to hold up. So I'll just hold this up. Lust for a Vampire. And by the way, that guy in the background, that is not Christopher Lee. That is a Christopher Lee wannabe. All right, get that back up there where it belongs, so that everybody stops grabbing the air sickness bags. I'm not doing the Blair Witch Project. I don't care. So this is a film that takes place 40 years after the first film. They came up with this brilliant concept that these people come to life every 40 years. And this woman goes out and finds beautiful young women to have some lesbian fun with, and then suck the life right out of them, which kind of sucks the life right out of the movie, too. But I'll tell you what, up until then, I mean, it's scantily clad here, breasts over there, booty everywhere. I mean, you know, you're sitting there going, boy, what's not to like about this movie? Well, the plot.
And the acting.
And the acting, yes. But number one, the plot, of which basically there is none. It's just a series of people being seduced by this lesbian vampire. And not always women. Sometimes she seduces men, too. In fact, the star of the movie, Michael Johnson, who plays a novelist named Richard Lestrange, dreams of her at night while they play the ethereal song Strange Love, which, you know, a man, a lesbian, yeah, strange love. I thought it could have been a little bit lighter, you know, maybe do something like Strange Love. I don't really want to change love. I just want to rearrange love. It's strange love for me. Do-ba-do-do. But no. No, they didn't go that direction. They went, strange love. I wish I was exaggerating. I really do wish I was exaggerating.
I know you're not. I've seen so many bad B movies, and that was one of them. And the fact that they made a sequel when I watched the first one just made me hang my head. It's like, I gotta watch it.
Did you finish the first one saying, well, thank God they'll never make a sequel to that? Well, you were wrong, little missy.
Oh yeah, Kente, definitely your kind of movies.
Oh. I would definitely recommend this movie for absolutely nothing. which is how much I paid for it. So I'm not out of anything other than about an hour and a half of my life, which I will never, ever get back again.
Sorry, not sorry.
The only person I actually kind of liked in the movie was Ralph Bates, who plays, it takes place at a girls' school, and he plays the school historian. And he is completely obsessed with this royal family from this castle who are reputed to be vampires, and figures out that one of the girls is the reincarnation of the vampire from the original movie, and wants to be her slave. And, well, let's just say it doesn't turn out nicely for him. But apart from that, yeah, this movie is a complete waste of time. But lots of scantily clad girls, lots of naked breasts, booty everywhere. So, if that's what you want to see, then by all means, go find this movie somewhere. God knows I did, and I'm going to take that particular website out of my rotation.
Oh, boy.
All right. There it is. The culprit that started all this. Psychotronic encyclopedia. I gotta be
You
careful.
love it. You love it.
This thing is falling apart here. That's how I use this book a lot. So, Miss Kitty.
Yes.
You can call me Festus if you want. But, okay, she's too young for Gunsmoke. Never mind.
Hey, just because I'm too young for it doesn't mean I haven't seen any of the reruns, okay? Give me a little credit.
Okay, Miss K. But since you haven't been here for a while, you'll get the questionable honor of picking a number from 2 to 802.
666. You're going to dive right into it.
I happen to know for a fact that we are in great deal of trouble. Oh God, I've seen most of these before, too. I actually did a couple of these on TMOA, but what the heck, you've got a different audience, so they won't know. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number from 1 to 5, Mr. Kinte.
I will take 3.
3. Hey, it's one I haven't done, and it's one I've heard of, and it's one that Kitty probably has seen. Student Bodies.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yes, she's seen it. She's seen it.
Yeah, I have. Oh, Kinte, that was the number I was going to pick, too, so great mind thought there.
Yes. Oh, wow. Gee whiz. Well, hey, Mickey Rose, I mean, what the hell did he know? And it's produced by Alan Smithy, which says a lot if you know anything about trashy movies.
Alan Smithy, yep.
Yes. So, we're going to find out probably more than you will ever want to know about it next time on Real Discoveries. But for now, I'll turn things back over to the egalitarian elitists of enduring entertainment, Kinte and Company, gang.
All right.
Enjoy that, Arpo. You're so going to enjoy that.
I've seen it before, yet, but I am actually going to watch it again. Why?
Refresher.
Better you than me. All right.
Yes,
so
I
now
did refresher course in Student Bodies.
Yeah. We are now at round 5 of our Comic Book Hero Madness tournament, and we are about to announce who the Final Four is. But before we do that, we got to say who won in round 4. So let's start off. We had a matchup of number 1 seed Superman versus number 2 seed Deadpool, and with 77% of the vote, Deadpool defeats Superman.
I knew it.
Yes.
Can't keep an undead. He can't keep an undead man down.
Yes, he won. And setting up a matchup between the winner of number 1 seed Spider-Man versus number 2 seed Wolverine. And with 89% of the vote, Wolverine defeated Spider-Man. So now we have a matchup of Deadpool versus Wolverine, the two number 2 seeds. All right, so
realistic. Wolverine beating Spider-Man. That's actually realistic. I'm very proud of the voters for.
That was pretty good. All right, so we're gonna start off with you, Kitty. Deadpool versus Wolverine. I know this is a tough matchup for you, but who do you got?
Yeah, it seems like a tough matchup at first. It really does, because they both have incredible healing factors. But the fact of the matter is, Deadpool's died more than one time and has come back to life because of those healing powers. Wolverine has died and stayed dead. I'm kind of going to have to give it to Deadpool.
Okay.
And if you don't,
remember,
for those that don't believe me, go read the Old Man Logan comics. Says it all right there.
There was a great film where Wolverine faced off with Deadpool, and I remember Deadpool.
Excuse me, great. Did you say great? You mean that like grated cheese?
You do realize that was an alternate universe that they've pretty much scrubbed out of existence thanks to Days of Future Past.
Yes.
Letting you know. Doesn't count.
All right, Paul, who do you have? You have Deadpool or do you have Wolverine?
Well, this is tough, but the mere fact of the matter is you've got a guy who you could chop off his head and he'll just pick it up and go, hey, don't do that, man. I gotta go with Deadpool. My God, I think he's going to win this whole thing at this point.
He's
hot right now. He's definitely hot right now. So
who's your pick?
We shall see.
Who's your pick?
I actually, I have Deadpool as well. I do have Deadpool. All right. So last week we had a matchup of number 1 seed Batman versus number 3 seed Captain America, the battle of the 1 percenters. And with 77% of the vote, Batman defeats Captain America.
You know why that happened, right? Batman has more money.
He paid off.
Yeah. Captain America's not really a 1 percenter. He just has a 1 percenter providing him with his shield.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So then that sets up a matchup between the number 3 seed Luke Cage versus number 5 seed Black Panther, and with 88% of the votes, Black Panther wins. So now we have a matchup of Batman versus Black Panther, which I think is an awesome matchup. So we're going to start off with you, Arpo. What do you have? Do you have Batman or do you have Black Panther?
It's got to be Black Panther, man. I'm sorry. That body armor that Batman has is not going to stand up to those vibranium claws. And the vibranium armor that Black Panther has, Batman doesn't have anything that's going to get through that body armor.
Okay. And what about you, Kitty?
I'm going to have to agree with Arpo for the very same reasons. My vote's on Black Panther. What about you?
Now, I really like Batman as a character. I love most of those movies and such, but I gotta represent for Black Panther. You know, pretty much almost anybody up against Batman, like I would probably give Batman the nod, but not against Black Panther. And Black Panther is hot right now. So right now we have 2 Marvel characters that are really hot: Deadpool and Black Panther. And I think I'm gonna go with Black Panther myself. So, all right. So those are our matchups. So our final 4. Okay, that's our poll. Our final 4 is Deadpool, Wolverine, Batman, and Black Panther. That's our final 4. I have to say, I'm not surprised with this final 4. Maybe more so about Black Panther, I'm a little bit surprised because I know a lot of people love the Hulk, but I'm actually kind of surprised that about that one. But everybody else, I would figure, Wolverine. I'm not surprised. He's a beloved character as well as Deadpool is right now. So specifically now after the movie,
after they
more
did
than
the movie right.
Right. So I'm not surprised. So before we say goodbye to this week's show, I wanted to talk about this year. We seen a movie that had Deadpool in it. We seen a movie that has Batman in it, and we seen a movie that had Black Panther in it this year. And I'm not sure if we're going to get Wolverine and X-Men. I don't know if I saw that somewhere. I think somebody might have said he is in it.
He is kind of a cameo. I mean, he's not even billed. Hugh Jackman isn't even billed in the credits. I think it's just kind of like a cameo appearance,
which is kind of a shame.
Now, let me ask you guys questions as comic book fans and comic book aficionados. Right now, comic book properties are hot. You got Doctor Strange coming. You have Guardians of the Galaxy. You have yes, and you have the Suicide Squad that's about to drop, and X-Men, and Hollywood has a habit of, if something is hot, they're gonna ride it until it's ride it into the ground. And every week, it seems like, definitely every month, there's always another comic book film, big film. And my thinking is, I know there's a lot of fans and it's going to be excited, but my fear is, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe you guys can educate me, is, they could kill the genre if they just keep trotting out these films. Do you think they're coming out too fast? Maybe they should be spread out a little bit more. Or are you guys good with it? Are you guys, as long as they're okay movies, you guys are good with it?
Better with them coming out quickly than my wallet is, but the thing is, there is so much that hasn't gotten touched yet, and I'm just looking at it from the Marvel universe because it's been so long since I've really read a lot of DC that I don't know what's going on in that universe. But there is so much in the Marvel universe. I mean, I have heard that they are now going to move from doing X-Men to the New Mutants.
Oh, okay.
But there's the Inhumans, there's the West Coast Defenders. They didn't last very long, but while they were together, they had some kick-ass stories. And I'm always excited to see a Marvel movie is coming out. Unless it has X-Men in the title, then I'm guardedly optimistic, but probably more pessimistic than optimistic. Well, this time I'm more optimistic than pessimistic, because as I said before, it's the same crew that did Days of Future Past and did the original X-Men movie. So I'm a little bit more reassured that this is going to possibly be something that's actually going to be worth me plunking down my $12.50 because they want to give me a pair of sunglasses to watch the movie through.
Mm-hmm. Well, and before I get to Kitty's take on it, is that it just seems like this X-Men movie is coming out pretty fast. It seemed like Days of Future Past, it seemed like there was some time in between Class and Days of Future Past, whereas it seems like this has got cranked out pretty quickly. And it makes me, I haven't heard great things about this film that I'm going to see tonight. So, once again, Kitty, I got to ask you, is more the better, or do you think they should slow their roll maybe a little bit and maybe work on quality more?
Well, quality is always better than quantity when you look at things. Honestly, in my opinion, what needs to happen is Fox needs to kind of unscrew themselves and give the permissions that they have taken away from Marvel back to Marvel, or at least work with Marvel to make these movies better, because a lot of the reason, at least in my opinion, that some of the X-Men movies have been so flat is because it's one dimension in a many-dimension universe.
That's
There's
right.
so many other things they need to touch on, you know, like this whole war with Apocalypse. Yeah, it was an X-Men thing, but it affected the entire universe. It affected the Avengers. It affected the West Defenders. You know, the Inhumans. The stories are intertwined and interlinked, and it needs to stay that way. Doing different universes of the same universes and keeping them separate is such a bad idea. And Fox really needs to get their shit together and understand this sooner. You know, they're starting to with giving some of the rights from Spider-Man back to Marvel so that they
Actually, that's Sony. That's Sony that did that.
Okay, but at least Sony's starting to come around.
Yeah,
you know,
they suddenly realized
definitely...
maybe we don't know what we're doing here, and maybe we do need Marvel's help to reboot the franchise.
Exactly. So, I've got some high hopes for the next Spider-Man movie because Sony did that, and if Fox would loosen that wallet of theirs just a little bit, let Marvel in to help them out, I'm sure that their movies would be phenomenally better.
Now, what I heard was that Fox actually, like, there's bad blood between the two studios.
Oh, yeah, of course. Has been for years. But sometimes you need to take that axe out of your back, stop the butt hurt, and work together for a common goal, which is to make great movies that everybody will enjoy, both comic book and non-comic book fans. Because unfortunately, the movies are starting to affect the comics too, which needs to be brought out into the light. If you remember, Nick Fury used to be an old, badass white dude. You look at some of the newer comics, you got the Samuel L. Jackson, who's supposed to be the son of the original Nick Fury. So,
and we won't discuss how that happened, but
no. But you see what I'm getting at. You know, if they're going to start doing the movies and stuff, and it's going to the movies and the genres are going to affect each other, obviously. And if this is going to happen, then it needs to be a good thing, first of all, and everybody needs to work together towards that common goal, which is to make the audience happy. Not everything's about money, guys. You need to see this. It's not all about the money. Sometimes it's about the people watching it. Make your audience happy. Stop the butt hurt.
Yeah. You know what it feels like? Is it like it's the Parent Trap? If you're trying to get mom and dad back together again.
If you have any doubt about there being bad blood between Marvel and Fox, all you have to do is scroll down Stan Lee's acting credits and notice that he's only been in like 3, I think, from what I can see here. Yeah, 3 X-Men movies, including Apocalypse.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Out of 8, and he's always in the other Marvel movies. Not in the X-Men.
And that's going to start cutting back too. I mean, the man is 93 years old. There was talk about this being his last year for doing cons outside of San Diego.
Wow. I didn't know he was 93. He looks great for 93.
He does, doesn't he?
Oh, he looks fantastic. He's
a mutant.
He is a well. He
is the overseer.
He is the most amazing man in the history of comics. And okay, I've been seeing a lot of comparisons online about, well, you look at all these Marvel characters and they're actually rip-offs of DC characters.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
There are some characters that it's the other way around, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like I said, man, that guy's probably created more iconic characters than anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody in the history of literature or entertainment.
Him and Mr. Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, that guy is, that mind of his is amazing. So,
I know if you
and
go
he's
if you go on his
humble.
IMDb page and go down his writing credits, it's just it's never ending.
Yeah.
And he's so humble too. He's very humble. So.
I could have, if I had had the foresight, I probably would have dropped the 160 for the meet and greet and the photos and stuff to see Stanley because he was at Planet Comic Con this past weekend.
Oh, you did? Oh, you bad.
I went and did other things like Edward James Oldnick for a dear friend of mine who's probably not watching this. Almost.
Did you say Edward James Oldnick?
Oldnick. I'm horrible with names, you know this, but you know who I'm talking about. So,
yes,
and I got an autograph by one of my favorite authors, Jim Butcher, and I
saw that on Facebook. Yes, very impressive.
So
nice.
that and I was volunteering as well. So there was a lot of time that I had to delegate to that. So.
Well, you should have volunteered to be on the Stan Lee contingent.
Unfortunately, us minions don't get to pick where we go.
Oh, do you have to wear little yellow costumes and coveralls?
We actually had little yellow shirts that were issued to us, but because of where I was volunteering and the group that I was volunteering with, I didn't have to wear mine. So I've got them sitting in my bag as extra souvenirs.
Ooh. Everybody write to Kitty if you want a Minion shirt.
It actually says Minion on the back, too, in bright purple.
Hilarious. All right, so we're going to start off with you, Arpo. How can people get you in social media and such? And do you have anything coming out? Any more Cerebus the Aardvark or any other thing?
Right now, I just finished co-writing and recording the dialogue for a full-length movie based on the character of the Wogglebug from the L. Frank Baum Oz series. Basically, we have mystically lifted him out of Oz and placed him into his own fantasy surrounding so that we don't have to worry about going against any of the Oz dogma and having, all the Oz say, well, that's not what the Wogglebug did. I said, well, okay, fine. Well, this isn't in Oz, okay? This is somewhere else. Go suck your thumb in the corner or whatever. But we do have an Indiegogo startup campaign right now because this is going to be a franchise, movies, novelizations, children's books, short films, toys, the whole 9 yards. So there is, I'm going to put in the chat there, the Indiegogo campaign. There's 20 days left on the campaign. We have 18% of our goal, which is $2,000. We'd like to pass our goal because then we can do more. And if you're watching this, later on after the fact, just go to Indiegogo.com and search for Wogglebug. And it'll give you a link going right to our campaign. Or it's also on my Facebook page. If you look for Richard Pochard on Facebook, then you will find a link to the Indiegogo campaign as well. And the script, I shouldn't toot my own horn, but the script came out great. It came out really, really good. I mean, Cynthia Hansen, who I'm doing this with, was very leery about turning the script over to me for the final rewrite. But, I made her promises. I said, I'm not going to rewrite. I'm not going to put anything in here that if I put something in, you say, I don't like that. It comes out again. With the one exception, everything that I added into the script or rewrote for the script, she loved. And Of course, we all know that's because I'm just such a darn good writer. I've been telling her that for 2 years. I'm a good script writer. You gotta let me help with the scripts, So now she believes me. So we're looking forward to a very long collaboration together. We have, I think, outlines for 7 movies in the works. And right now they're straight to DVD, but if it catches on, who knows? There could be a theatrical film somewhere in our future.
All right. So, Kitty, how can people get you social media and such?
Oh, well, you can follow me at Twitter, kittycat851987. Send me a message. I'll say hello back. I don't have a whole lot that I'm doing other than working. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/kittycat8587. I will hopefully in the next few weeks, month the longest, hopefully, get back to streaming and playing video games. I'm actually getting ready to go on a cat-themed game venture. I will be playing nothing but cat games. So there's quite a few cat games in that list, including Catastrophe and Who Let the Cat Out? Or is it Who Let the Cat In? Anyway, there's also Cat Goes Fishing, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know it's very retro, but they need to do Felix the Cat. He would make a great video game.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of games that are on Steam at the moment that are like retro type-ish. They've got a Sega Genesis collection. I've got Echo the Dolphin on my list for that one because Echo was such a great game. Hard as hell. What a great game. And you can also follow me on Facebook, kittycat8587. So, yeah. Anywhere there's a kittycat 8587, you're probably looking at me. You can find me there.
All right. And you can follow me at KenSayF, and we will be back to say who is in the final 2. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And whether you watched us live or listened to us via podcast, all the people in the Spreaker chat room, what's up? And we'll have the links in the show notes. Peace and God bless, and have a great weekend.